Prior to the opening of the current station, Amtrak customers used an historic 1900 red brick depot that stood nearby. It closed in early 2016 for rehabilitation under the New Haven Hartford Springfield Rail project, but unfortunately it caught fire and was severely damaged in December of that year. The remaining portions of the building were demolished early in 2017. The Old Berlin Station was one in a long line of depots to stand in the general vicinity and was commissioned by the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad, more commonly referred to as New Haven. Composed of red brick laid in common bond, it resembled other period depots built by the railroad throughout New England. By using a similar design, the company would have saved money on design fees. Rectangular in layout, the building was topped with a hipped roof that extended out over the walls on the north, west, and south elevators to create a porch of wide and generous dimensions that sheltered passengers from inclement weather. Where the porch terminated on the east facade, the spandrels featured a grid pattern. According to the original building plans, the roofing material was durable slate, and the ridge line was decorated with a wrought iron railing. Trackside, a central cross contained a semicircular window. The bricklayers put their skills to good use to create the depot's prominent quins and arches, as well as the water table and bell courses that encircled the structure. The water course ran at the level of the first floor window sills, while one of the belt courses hit those same windows at the spring line of their arches. Above the other belt course formed the sills of Unity windows that allowed light into the attic level. From historic photos, it is clear that the eastern facade once had a porte courtier whose spandrels matched those of the porch. Noted depot features include the large arched triple windows on the east and west facade highlighted by the raised brick surroundings. Above, the belt course generally echoed the form of the arch. The windows' upper areas display colorful paints of stained glass in complementary color tones such as purple, green, blue, and creamy white. To the sides, they were set in a square grid, while the center section had a flaming torch surrounded by flooring circulating that from a distance resembled the form of a butterfly. Trackside, the window was set within a slightly projecting bay. Those bays consisted of coursed ashlar granite. It gave onto the ticket window, which once housed the telegraph equipment too. Sticking his head out the window, the station master could monitor traffic along the line. The original layout of the station divided the main floor into 4 areas. The south and north ended respectively housed the Parcel Express office and baggage room. Both spaces were only accessible from the exterior and had wide double doors that allowed carts laden with crates, packages, and trunks to be wheeled in directly from the platform. Next to the Parcel Express office were the restrooms, which gave onto the bright and airy waiting room into the center of the building. Washed in light pastel as the sunlight passed through the eastern arch window, the waiting room was long dominated by the original ticket office, whose corners were gently rounded. Resembling those in the other early 20th century New Haven facilities, it was a 3-sided structure placed against the western wall of the building to form an enclosed private space. The bottom third was covered in bead boards, while the upper portion featured recessed rectangular panels. A wide chair rail separated the two and emphasized the placement of the 2 windows, one for the ticket agent and another for the telegrapher. Dental molding finished off the upper edge of the office wall. Up above, the old tin ceiling displayed a grid of squares inset with smaller ones. Decorative designs were found on the fact beams and the cornice, as well as on the medallions whose placement showed the original configuration of the lighting fixtures. With many of its interior finishes largely unaltered, Berlin was often considered one of the best preserved of the Connecticut's small depots. Berlin's new brick passenger station was officially dedicated in October 2018, although portions of it opened the previous June. It is one of the handful of new station buildings constructed as part of the New Haven-Hartford Springfield Rail Project, a partnership between the state of Connecticut, Amtrak, and the Federal Railroad Administration, otherwise known as FRA, as well as the states of Massachusetts and Vermont. This multi-year effort has aimed at creating new commuter-enhanced intercity passenger rail services benefiting the cities along the New Haven and Springfield Rail Line. Construction on the new facilities, designed by Michael Baker Engineering, began in December 2014 and it cost approximately $21 million. Located in the Kensington area of Berlin, the station includes high-level accessible platforms, an overhead pedestrian bridge with elevators, canopies to shelter customers from the inclement weather, automatic snow melting systems, and a passenger information display system. It also offers electric vehicle charging, bicycle racks, and ample parking. In addition to Amtrak, the station is served by Connecticut Rail Harford Line customers, commuter trains, between New Haven and Springfield. The latter service launched in June 2018 and was made possible through the New Haven Hartford Springfield Rail Project. CT Rail Harford Line trains complement Amtrak service to offer travelers greater flexibility and choice. A Connecticut Transit bus route also serves the station area. Overall, the New Haven Hartford Springfield Rail Project has included improvements to track and signaling system, upgrades to bridge, culverts, and at-grade crossings, installation of a second track, and renovation or construction of stations. As of early 2018, the estimated $1.2 billion program has received $564 million in state funding and $205 million through federal sources, including the American Recovery and Revitalization Act of 2009. Connecticut tends to seek additional federal and state funding for future program phases.